in the.
What's
I think it's live now.
Yeah, it's live now, but that's okay. All right, we'll get going. Hey, everyone. Bill Hanks here with Alfredo Allende.
There
So
you go.
he is one of our top clients at Human Optimization, been with us for quite a while, and he's just got a unique story. So we wanted to bring him on today and just kind of present the humans of human, so kind of dive into that. So we're going to do our best version of a podcast kind of video interview, our best Joe Rogan information, and kind of get into this and just talk about Alfredo. I'll give it just a little bit of a background. Alfredo is a two-time Ironman, which is just amazing. I just have so much respect for these guys who do that. I mean, the 3 sports that you do in one day is just an amazing amount of effort and training and dedication. And then on top of all of that, you've been struggling with some autoimmune issues. We'll get into that, RA and stuff. But anyways, I think probably the biggest thing that you have going on is you're a father to 2 girls, and that is very similar to me. And so that might be the biggest accomplishment.
Right. Yes, 2 little girls. One's turning 7 tomorrow, and the other one's turning 4 next month. So
Yeah, that's
enjoying them so much.
good ages. Yeah, those girls. I can tell they really love their dad, and I've met them a few times here in the shop and just see them, and I'm sure they're proud of you of what you've done. So if you don't mind, just kind of like dive into your story here a little bit about how you got your health journey and how you got into optimizing your health, and kind of what services you did at the shop and how that helped you achieve some of your Ironmans. But I think the most important part is your personal story. So if you don't mind, just kind of dive into that.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Alfredo. I'm 43 years old. I have been doing triathlon training and racing since 2014. So going on 6 years. And back in 2018, I got injured pretty bad. And as a result of it, I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, RA. Um, and that's when my journey towards recovery and fighting an autoimmune disease started. So I went, of course, Western medicine tells you you cannot heal, uh, and they put you on a bunch of medications. I took some of the meds I took were chemotherapy meds. They're really strong, really harsh on the body. But that's what I had to do in order to, get to a point where I could get my feet on the ground and then look for something alternative. So, yeah, so I was put on a cocktail of meds and um, that alleviate pain and to a certain extent, but also create a whole bunch of different side effects for the body. Um, I was working with Antoine, who is a member of uh, the shop, and he recommended I go and try cryotherapy. So um, I went and talked to you guys and told you guys what I was going through, and that's when I started my journey with back then cryo recovery and now Huemn. Um, and man, I saw so much improvement. When I started treating because to me it was treatment, treating myself with you guys, doing, of course, the cryotherapy, but also the altitude training. and the photobiomodulation bed, or uh, red light bed, right? Red light therapy. And then, of course, the recovery compression. But it was a combination of all of them that helped me. Oh, I was injured. I got injured again, and when I was preparing myself for Ironman Texas 2019. Um, so that's when I started going to the shop to try to injure. I had a foot stress fracture, and this was 2 months before the race. So I couldn't run, couldn't
Bad,
cycle.
bad
You
timing.
remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible.
Hmm.
I could only swim, and so you guys put me to do the altitude training, just to improve my um, fitness and
Hmm.
get get the body ready for the race,
Right.
and then did the cryo therapy and the red light therapy as well to recover my body from not only the stress fracture, but I guess the lack of exercise too was hurting me. So
So was this your first
yeah,
Ironman, or was this your second one? Where was it at?
it was my first full.
First
Uh,
school.
I had I had already had to quit one because of the injury I mentioned before. Uh, it was Ironman Florida 2018, and got a really bad knee injury. Got diagnosed with RA. So I was already signed up for Ironman Texas, and there was no way I wasn't doing it. Uh, you know, so even though doctors told me not to,
Hmm.
uh, I did what I could, partner up with you guys, and I did it anyway.
You got
And
through it.
it was a journey, but we finished it, and it was one for the books.
And then you did another one after that. Then, and how long after?
Yeah. So and then I did Ironman Florida 2019.
Okay.
So I did April. I did Texas in April, and I did Florida in November.
Okay.
And then I was signed up for Texas 2020
Mhm.
in April again, but got canceled. So the goal was to do 3 full Ironmans in a year.
Mhm.
Uh, but well, we couldn't control the
Yeah.
COVID situation.
Right.
So
Well, two in a year is plenty. So, do you have any more in the books, or not in the books, but in the planning, or where you at with
yeah,
that?
I'm signed up for Galveston Half Ironman in November,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then I'm signed up for the full Ironman in Texas again in 2021. Uh, the one I rolled over from this year.
Right. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
they're going to let you go. So you're going to keep doing it. So let's go
Oh
back.
yeah.
Yeah, let's go back just a little bit. So you're training for the Florida one, and you were going to do it, and you had a knee injury, right? And during that, talking to the doctors and stuff, what did they find out? How did all that go down, or what was happening with your body?
So my body was breaking down in a lot of ways. Not only was it joint pain, uh,
Hmm.
but it was also my liver, my kidneys,
Mm,
and were compromised. My lungs were compromised. Inflammation all over,
mm,
uh, which a lot of people think it's just joints, but
hmm.
there's inflammation, internal inflammation, and there's a lot more ways of feeling that inflammation or getting impacted by it. In my case, I was I couldn't walk 10 steps because I would get out of breath. My liver was struggling,
Hmm.
um, and I went to a whole bunch of different specialists, and they couldn't find much.
Mm,
Uh, so it all later on, I putting the pieces together, it was all a consequence of internal inflammation and well, Western medicine not putting two and two together.
Hmm.
Uh, which we can dive into in a little bit because I completely quit my um, treatment in August 2019 last year.
Okay.
Completely, my doctor tested, you know, every certain several months, they will test me to see what the medicine was doing to my vital organs to see if there
Wow.
was toxicity. That's how bad those pills are. Um, in the last test in July, my liver showed elevated values.
Right.
It was toxic. And so the doctor told me I needed to quit all medicine for a month to give my liver a chance to clean itself up, and then we could resume. And that's when you know, feeling a little better, I decided there's not I'm not doing anything. Uh, Nothing of what I was doing was healthy. All I was doing is putting band-aids everywhere and damaging other parts of my body. So I just I weaned off all meds and I stayed like that. I decided not to go back, even though the pain was ridiculous. And you
So was
know,
it pain getting off the meds, or pain just from the experience of the RA? What was it?
the pain from RA,
Okay.
it was just uh, joint pain that was. So I took steroids for a full year, prednisone at high doses, uh, along with other pain medications, and you know, cutting them off after a year of masking pain. I could feel all the joint pain I hadn't been feeling. So uh, it was overwhelming. It wasn't easy, but I stayed the course, and I that's when I started researching, uh, you know, something alternative, and I dove into uh, alternative medicine and going the healthy route and managing pain and naturally. So functional medicine. Uh, as I started to inform myself, I realized that a lot of the things that were causing my disease were things. I mean, doctors didn't tell me. They don't tell you,
Right.
uh, and it all comes from mostly the gut and inflammation, internal inflammation, toxicity. So it gets to a point where your body gets overwhelmed by our what we think is the common everyday life we live. Uh, it's just everything we do is toxic, pretty much. So my body was just in an overwhelmed state of toxicity,
Yeah.
which you and I have talked a lot about.
Hmm. So obviously, gut health, inflammation, those are some of the most important things that you can manage. It starts with your gut. So what are you doing for gut health right now? What have you eliminated? What have you what's some of the tricks you're doing right now?
Yeah, so my first step towards remission was cleaning my diet up. And by cleaning it up, I don't mean just eating healthy, what we call eating healthy. Excuse me. It was completely eliminating any inflammatory foods or products. Um, my diet now is the I eat the same five things every day, but those are things that don't cause me any inflammation. Um, cut off red meat, no pasta, no gluten.
Mm,
Um, I mean, everything I enjoyed is gone,
right.
and unfortunately, but
Yeah. Yeah.
when you get to a point where you can manage pain, uh, food becomes secondary. It's not, you don't eat for pleasure, you eat for fuel.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, I think we have to think about that, and we have to be aware of those foods that we're putting into our body, because you may not think that they're doing harm, but if you think, we're eating, 2 to 3 meals a day, every single day, and every time you put something in, if you're reacting from an inflammation standpoint from that food, it's just only going to compound, and the next day it'll be worse than the next day. And so finding those key foods are important for the individual, and it sounds like it's been good for you. What about we've talked about this in we've talked about Dr. Zach Bush's Restore. I think he's rebranded it to Ion. Did that help you? Or I know you've been taking that too. Was that helpful?
100%. It's one of those products that you cannot feel them doing something until you quit taking them, and then you realize, you know,
Right.
oh, this was happening and this was happening. I wasn't feeling this. I wasn't feeling this. Um, you recommended it to me. I completely agreed with everything you said, and I bought it. And I think after I bought the 2 month uh, supply bottle, and I took three of those, and then I stopped for a month, and that's when I realized, oh
Mm-hmm.
gosh, I need to get me another one because I'm feeling this, this, and this. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
actually, I put a lot of people on it, uh, just word of mouth, obviously, but um, people that struggle with um, anything gut related, and they are very pleased with it too.
yeah, and I think the key thing about that product is it helps seal the. I mean, just so people know what it is, it's tetrahydrite, I think is how you say it, and it helps fill the tight junctions in our gut. Problem is you have to take it 3 times a day, right? So you got to take it with your meals a little bit before, but it helps seal the tight junctions. And if anybody's read up on the amount of glyphosate, which is Roundup, that's used in our agricultural systems, and there's so much out there. There's just billions and billions of pounds of it sprayed throughout the United States that it's water soluble. So it's even been found in our rainwater.
Yep,
So
yep,
um, it's out there, and it's hard to escape. It's almost in all food, even if it is organic in some way. It's out there, and it's also in our environment. So um, anybody who has a leaky gut, which it sounds like maybe you do, or those tight
yep,
junctions, this helps
yep.
bind that, so that food that you do eat doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier and get into your system, and you have the inflammatory reaction. So if anybody wants any more information on that, like I said, Zach Bush, he's just an awesome guy. You can look him up, and he just has a plethora of information there just on this, and just kind of the whole battle of fighting the Roundup and the, the system that we have in agriculture, and just how we need to change this from a spray the weeds and all that, but to a regenerative type agricultural, and but yeah, that's good. So what five foods are on your list right now?
I'm sorry. What?
What are the 5 foods that you are?
So, so I eat. Sorry, you were cutting out there. I
Oh,
eat a little bit of chicken, um, a little bit of turkey as a protein source. My diet is mostly based on fruits and vegetables, and a lot of them. And celery juice and carrot juice.
Right.
That's my main. That's my bread and butter.
Right.
So, and
And
I've seen. Oh, and of course, uh, fasting,
right.
which you introduced me to, by the way.
So just kind of like what is it? You like eating an 8 hour window? How does that work?
So I went as far as doing 76 hours of
Wow.
fasting. Yeah, I did. I got to 76 hours of fasting, and that's what rebooted my system fully.
Ah,
Um, yeah, it for everyone out there who tries it, don't try it all,
yeah.
don't aim for 75 hours or
Right.
76 hours. And it took me a couple of attempts, by the way,
Right.
to get to 24 hours. Um, right now, uh, I was doing every week, once a week, a 24-hour fast, and then intermittent fasting every day on a 18/6 window,
Right.
18 off, 6 on.
Yeah.
Um, but then when the whole COVID thing kicked in, I figured out I stopped the full fasts and I just kept my intermittent fasting. I changed it to 16 on, 8 off. I'm sorry, 16 off, 8 on, and I'm changing it up here and there, uh, just to keep my body, with optimal levels and uh, of everything. But I will very soon go back to my uh, 24-hour fasts
Yeah.
every week,
So you were doing those once a week, just of 24-hour fast, or how often? Just
once a week.
oh,
Yep. And then the other 6 days intermittent. So
yeah.
6 days intermittent, one day full.
Right. Yeah. I've kind of been out of my routine with the whole COVID thing, but yeah, I agree with you as far as anybody who's wanting to do a fast, you just don't jump right into 3 days. Kind of got to get
Yeah.
that body over to converting into using fat as fuel. And when you do that, I mean, it becomes much, much, much easier. But yeah, like I said, I mean, just because if you fail once, that's okay, and I like the fact that you did put a stop to it, like, because like you don't need to suffer. It shouldn't be that hard. I mean, it's not like it's easy, but it's somebody who has the ability to go, hey, something's not right here, I need to take a step back and all that, then that's a good way to go about it. So
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be a situation where you're like fainting,
yeah,
or when it gets to that point, that's not
if you're
okay.
doing that, then you're not ready. If you
Yes,
feel like
exactly.
it,
It's
you need to stop the fast, you need to regroup, get back, and just kind of continue to work. Your body will get there, but it just doesn't. But that's amazing. I'm glad you kind of had that reboot, and it really helped your system. And I think that's what it does, is it kind of helps your immune system. um
Yeah, the crazy thing is, you I didn't plan on doing 76 hours. I went for 24, right? And then I felt good, so I kept going. Then I got to 48, and I was feeling so good that I didn't. It gets to a point, and you know this, you don't want to put food in your body because you're gonna ruin it. You're gonna quit feeling amazing
right.
because I mean, you said it. Everything's so toxic
Yeah.
that even if you're eating organic fruits or vegetables, they're not fully. Uh, they're not. They're still contaminated. So your body is like thinking amazing, you feel amazing, you just react to stress
Mm,
differently. So you're like, if I'm not hungry and I'm feeling so good, why am I going to eat? So I just kept going, and that's what happens all the time now. It's like, I'm in an amazing state, I don't want to ruin it, so you just keep going. Finally, for training purposes, I broke the fast and um, at 76 hours, but I could have kept going,
mm,
uh, to the panic of a lot of people around me that were begging me to eat something.
right.
But I was like, do you see any difference?
Yeah.
I feel great. Uh, and
Yeah.
I must say though that the best sessions I've had were while I've been fasting,
Yeah.
like fully fasting, like in fasting state. More power, more endurance.
Mm,
It's just incredible.
yeah.
Matter of fact, Ironman Florida. Uh, I went into Ironman Florida. I only drank celery juice in the morning. I think I did 50 ounces,
Oh, wow.
and that's yeah. I didn't eat carbs before or any of that. I just
Mm,
went for yeah. I went into it in a fasting state, put a whole bunch of celery in my body, and I think I finished it in 13 hours and 52 minutes.
wow.
Uh, and it felt great. So
So, so you didn't carb up or anything? You didn't fuel during the race? You just, well, I mean,
I,
obviously drank electrolytes and all that, and water and all that, but
right.
did you just,
So
go ahead?
during the race, I fueled with bananas and fruit they give
Oh,
you
okay.
and oranges. Even during, when when the sun goes down, they start serving on the run. They start serving bone broth,
Ah,
in little cups. So I was
okay.
doing a lot of that. But going into the race and doing the
Yeah,
swing on the bike, uh, I didn't have any carbs in me. So
right.
and for those that don't know, it's a 2.4 mile swim and then 112-mile bike and then a marathon after, which is 26 miles.
It's insane.
So
First time somebody told
so
me what
I've
it was, I couldn't believe it.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
But,
But it's
but
it's
I'm with
quite the
you on that,
experience.
on fasting and working out. I mean, every morning I get up and I hit the gym and I don't even eat anything. I feel totally different. I don't. Now, if I'm doing strength training, I'm lifting some weights or something like that, then yeah, I might want to have some fuel in me. But just any kind of, you know, exercise, and then I feel amazing afterwards. And like, they say like eat your food immediately after. I'm like, dang, but I feel so good. So I'll take, some time before I go and fuel, because I just like that. Your body's tapped into using fat as fuel. Your ketones are up, and you just feel clear, and clarity's there. So
Yep, I agree. I think we have a lot to uncover when it comes to um, endurance sports and the diet prior and during and after. Uh, I think for me personally, maybe not for everyone, but for me, I perform a lot better in a fasting state and with only my celery or carrot juice or both.
right, right. Well, good. I don't know if I've got a lot of other questions. I mean, this is all good information. You've got an Ironman coming up. What are you looking at this time doing differently, and ways you're optimizing? I know you're also taking glutathione now, so that's helped out. But how are you gonna? What have you learned from the past, and what are you gonna apply going forward?
So I've learned so much in the past few months. Glutathione must have for me.
Yeah,
It's a detoxer, I guess.
yeah,
It keeps your free radicals in check, and
mm,
uh, it's a product that uh, you feel the difference on day one after 20 minutes of taking it.
yeah.
You feel better.
Right.
Um,
And now I'll
another
say this:
thing is,
the best way to
yes,
take glutathione is the liposomal, like the stuff you put in your mouth.
yes.
The oral, I mean, it doesn't work as well. It doesn't through the gut. So yeah,
I've never tried anything other than the one you have at the shop, which is
hmm,
a liposomal liquid one,
yeah,
sublingual, and it's amazing.
yeah.
It's refrigerated. You keep it in the fridge, and it's super effective. I have to have one always. Um, Another thing I learned is keeping my body, aside from uh, not only, I mean, doing the cryotherapy and the the light therapy, and it's don't. I used to do it to uh, as a reactive way of controlling inflammation. After training, after feeling beat up, instead of being proactive and doing it before to prevent. And that's something I'm changing my game on, because uh, you have to. It's all about preventative,
Yeah.
a preventative approach, if
Yeah.
you will.
No, that's a
Um,
good point. We see that all the time. I mean, and I do it myself. Is like we get people in when they're injured, and it's like, hey, yeah, to keep from getting injured, to keep from getting to this point, you need to just take a little bit of time. Not a lot, just a little bit of time. Take care of yourself.
yeah, and be consistent. It's, if you really want to see the results of going to the shop, you go for at least 4 weeks, and then you will see exponential results. You will see results from day one, but if you stay consistent, like everything, that's when you see the most benefit. Um, so aside from that part, I think I changed my uh, my race nutrition to everything organic. So the gels I was taking, the calorie gels, the electrolyte drinks that I was taking, I changed. I take this company. It's a small company in San Diego called Muir, and it's all made out of organic fruits, and that's how you get your calories. So that game changer for me, because uh, all the goos and all the other gels make me bloat up, and react to my body reacts to them with inflammation. So this has been a game changer for me too. So that's going to be my approach to my next race is fueling naturally
Mm-hmm.
and controlling inflammation during the race.
Right, right.
Um, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And then that's it. It's
Well,
pretty simple. It's just whatever you put in your body, you become.
yeah. No, I
So
totally agree with that. Well, cool, man. Well, it's Friday evening. I know you got two girls. They're probably waiting to spend some time with you and hang out with you. So I know I got two girls waiting for me too. So I appreciate you sharing your journey, and this is good stuff. And if there's anything that we can do to help you on this next stage, let us know. But great insight on your fasting and just kind of how you've overcome all these inflammation. We all know inflammation is the number one cause of everything. It causes our aging. It causes a breakdown of our bodies. And so if we manage that, we're 90% of the way there, right?
absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for the invite, Bill. Have fun. I always have fun talking to you. You have so much knowledge, and
Hey,
all the things you introduced me to, like Zach Bush and fasting and the glutathione and everything else.
so if anybody wants to follow you, what's your Instagram handle? What do you have?
I I'm not able to hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I was just saying if anybody
I
wants to follow
lost your
you.
audio. I don't know what
I
happened.
lost my audio. Can you hear me now? Hello, Alfredo. I can hear you. Oh man,
Hold on.
maybe you lost your headphones. Your headphones still go dead. Did your headphones go dead? Oh, okay. All right. Well, we will stop there. And thanks everyone for joining.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yes, now I can.
Oh, did your headphones go dead?
No, I don't know what happened.
Huh. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was on my end too. So anyway,
But
go ahead.
you were frozen for a little bit, but I got you back now.
Oh, okay. I was frozen. Okay. Now you're frozen. All right, brother. Well, we'll call it quits there. But if anybody wants to follow Alfredo, he is ALFRE dot ALLENDE on Instagram. That's his Instagram handle. And you can give him a follow and see what he's up to. Thank you very much, Alfredo. You have a good evening. All right.
Anytime, man. Thank you for the invite, and I'll see you at the shop.
All right. Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Have a good weekend.